The invisible battle. Every time you promise yourself you'll start tomorrow, your brain quietly smiles because tomorrow never arrives. Self-discipline doesn't usually fail in dramatic moments. It disappears through tiny decisions that seem harmless. One more scroll, one more episode, 5 more minutes. None of them feel dangerous on their own, yet together they quietly rewrite your future. Here's the strange part. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect you from discomfort. Thousands of years ago, avoiding effort saved energy and increased survival. Today, that same survival system treats studying, exercising, or building a business like unnecessary threats. The real danger is that comfort feels safe while slowly stealing opportunities you never noticed disappearing. Most people think disciplined people have stronger willpower, but that's only the surface. Behind every disciplined person is a psychological battle happening every single day, and the winner isn't always the one with the strongest motivation. The dopamine trap. Imagine someone hands you 2 buttons. One gives instant pleasure, the other gives a reward 6 months later. Almost everyone reaches for the first button because the brain values immediate rewards far more than future ones. Psychologists call this temporal discounting, and it explains why junk food beats healthy meals, why social media beats reading, and why saving money feels harder than spending it. But here's the problem. Every instant reward teaches your brain that waiting isn't necessary. Slowly, your patience shrinks. Tasks requiring long-term effort begin to feel painfully boring. This is where it gets worse. Modern technology is designed to flood your brain with quick dopamine hits every few seconds. Notifications, videos, likes, and endless feeds train your mind to expect constant excitement. Then, when real life demands focus without instant rewards, your brain rebels. Self-discipline isn't just resisting temptation. It's retraining your reward system to value delayed success over immediate comfort. The identity switch. Most people say, "I want to become disciplined." Hidden inside that sentence is the reason they fail. They're treating discipline like something they occasionally do instead of someone they are. Your brain loves consistency between actions and identity. If you believe you're lazy, every skipped workout confirms the story. If you believe you're the kind of person who finishes what they start, even small actions begin supporting that identity. Researchers have found that people protect their self-image more strongly than almost anything else. That's why changing identity often changes behavior faster than forcing behavior alone. Imagine someone who says, "I'm trying to quit smoking," versus someone who says, "I'm not a smoker." The second statement removes negotiation. The decision already exists. The same psychology works for studying, exercising, writing, or saving money. Discipline grows stronger when your actions stop asking permission and start proving who you already believe you are. The friction effect. A single tiny obstacle can completely change your behavior without you realizing it. Put your phone beside your bed and you'll probably check it before getting up. Leave it in another room, and suddenly your morning changes. This sounds almost too simple, yet psychologists repeatedly observe that human behavior follows the path requiring the least effort. That's why unhealthy habits survive so easily. They're convenient. Healthy habits often require preparation, planning, and resistance. But here's the secret disciplined people quietly use. They increase friction for bad habits and remove friction from good ones. They hide distractions, prepare tomorrow's clothes, keep healthy food visible, and make productive choices easier than destructive ones. The real danger is believing discipline is only mental strength. Environment often beats motivation. When your surroundings constantly push you toward better choices, your brain spends less energy resisting temptation, making consistency feel surprisingly natural instead of exhausting. The emotion illusion. People assume discipline means acting when motivation disappears, but emotions secretly control far more decisions than logic ever does. Think about the last time you procrastinated. Chances are you weren't avoiding the work itself, you were avoiding the uncomfortable feeling attached to it. Fear of failure, fear of looking foolish, fear of not being good enough. Your brain labels those emotions as threats and quietly redirects you toward easier activities that temporarily reduce stress. But here's where everything changes. Disciplined people don't wait until they feel confident. They learn to recognize uncomfortable emotions without obeying them. They understand that feelings are temporary visitors, not permanent commands. The moment you stop treating discomfort like an emergency, your brain begins building resilience. Every difficult task completed despite resistance teaches your nervous system that discomfort isn't dangerous. Over time, the same challenge that once felt overwhelming becomes surprisingly ordinary. The momentum machine. Success rarely arrives through giant breakthroughs. It usually arrives through tiny wins that quietly multiply. Imagine pushing a massive flywheel. The first push barely moves it. The second feels just as disappointing. But after enough consistent effort, the wheel begins turning on its own. Human psychology works the same way. Every completed habit creates evidence that change is possible. Confidence grows after action, not before it. This is where many people accidentally sabotage themselves. They chase perfection instead of momentum, miss one workout, and they quit entirely. Skip one study session, and they call themselves failures. But disciplined minds think differently. They protect consistency more than intensity. One small action keeps the wheel moving. The real danger isn't failing once, it's allowing one mistake to become an identity. Tiny victories repeated daily reshape your brain far more effectively than occasional bursts of heroic effort. The future self-experiment. Picture yourself 10 years from now walking into the room. That person is either grateful for today's decisions or quietly paying for today's excuses. Psychologists discovered something fascinating. Most people think about their future selves almost like complete strangers. That's why sacrificing tomorrow for today's comfort feels so easy. But when people vividly imagine their future identity, they suddenly make wiser decisions. They save more money, exercise more consistently, and avoid destructive habits. Your future isn't built by dramatic moments. It's built by invisible choices repeated while nobody is watching. Every disciplined action is a message sent forward through time saying, "I'm investing in you." Every shortcut sends the opposite message. In the end, self-discipline isn't about punishment, restriction, or endless suffering. It's about becoming the kind of person your future self would thank instead of regret. And that silent conversation between today's choices and tomorrow's life is the psychology that shapes every extraordinary achievement.